Hello and welcome. This exciting episode is a sewing vlog and I make a Me Made May pledge. Gosh, that's hard to say. And I do some other stuff. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket. So I finished the monthly sewing plans video. I still haven't pulled everything down and put it away. Yeah, before I did this video, all the junk's still here. I know, it's a huge surprise. The magical fairies didn't magically appear and put everything away. Anyway, before I did this, I called a local hardware store and I ordered some storage boxes. And yeah, I was just about to clean this. Honest I was. And they've arrived. So yeah, yay for them. Order local. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure they were made in China, but the local store was very nice. So I have started packing stuff away. So I was folding this fabric and they're supposed to be, I'm supposed to make a 6-meter skirt for this dress. It's got silver and gold metallics and I was going to use 3 yards of the spider web and 3 yards of the gold dust. I've also got this dress and it's 3 yards of Scream, 3 yards of Halloween fabric. And yeah, I just don't know how much I'm going to wear a dress if the bodice has Scream fabric on it. I'm one of those people, cautious people who still wears a COVID mask. So I don't know that I want people screaming in my face if they see that on my dress. Whereas if it's just on the skirt, maybe I'm more likely to wear it. So yeah, I might make the skirt out of the Scream, the Halloween and the Daisy fabric. So that's 7 yards all up. And this one has 9 yards. So 7 yards plus the top of the starry one is another yard because it's got those big sleeves. So that'll be 8 yards all up. I also have those 2 black and white ones, so maybe I'll add that. I don't know. I just bought them because I feel like the silver in these metallic ones, at least when you film it or photograph it, they look whitish. So that's why I bought the black and white prints. But we'll see. Because like the spider web, it's 3 yards. So you can make a whole dress, party dress out of that. And the other one would be very Audrey Hepburn. You'll see in a few minutes, you'll see I discover a navy blue one just like it that I still haven't quite finished. Anyway, so I sort out my boxes and if you didn't watch my sewing plans for May video, I've decided that I'm going to KonMari my wardrobe because at the moment it's like that, that movie 27 Dresses where she crams all the really big dresses into her little wardrobe. Yeah, I've made too many maxi dresses. Well, I mean, I've made too many dresses full stop. So here I am, I'm putting them, I was hoping I'd fit 10 per box. And that way, I'd get 100 or 120 into boxes. Because I got 10 boxes, but I also have 2 other ones that were just spare because I've used up the stuff that was in them. If you haven't seen my Make 9 plans, I'm trying to use up all my fabric stash and make dresses out of them. And I want about 200 dresses. So I'm doing pretty well. But I underestimated the amount of room I would need to store them all. That's all. This is the second patchwork dress I made. And with this one, I used 2 yards of the that green fabric with the rose vine on it. And I cut it in strips lengthwise, 2 yard long strips. And then I sewed all my patches together. And so I had a strip of patchwork, a strip of real fabric. And then if you're going to make a patchwork dress, your first one, I highly, highly recommend doing half normal fabric and half patches because it just made it so much easier and quicker. And the kind of dresses I make, these maxi ones, you sort of pleat down each tier. And that meant that I only had to pleat down the real fabric, not the patchwork fabric, because the patchwork fabric is a little bulky. So yeah, highly recommend that. Plus, I've been saving so many scraps. And I think if I use, like, if I have loads of green scraps, because I make loads of green dresses, you'll see in a minute, I've got literally 3 boxes with green dresses in them. So, yeah, a lot of scraps, leftover scraps, even though I am really, really economical and I take my time placing all the pieces so that I'm have the least possible amount of scraps every single time. I still get a lot of scraps. So I'm just going to, each time I make a patchwork dress, I'm going to use 2 yards of one fabric and then the rest of patches. So yeah, each of them will still be distinctive because they're going to have like a signature print in each. Anywho, here we go. I think I've pretty much finished by this point. I didn't really film much, but yeah, I resisted playing dress ups. I didn't try on a single one of these dresses, although I did spin around with a lot of them held in front of me, because they've got like the wall you don't see has 2 massive mirrors on it, like almost floor to ceiling and incredibly wide. They were so much fun to move in. But yeah, these are the dresses I haven't finished. I mean, I've got 120 finished ones, but this one just need to do the shoulder straps and the zip, but the other ones all need lining. And that one I have to hand stitch the cuffs as well. This one originally, this is a Butterick 6677, and in the original dress, if you make it by the instructions, it doesn't actually have lining. It has bias tape, which it's not me. I don't like it at all. So I'm going to unpick that, take it off, and add a lining to that. These two, the Scandinavian candy cane one and that first holly one, they need the sleeve sewn on. This one is from January or early February. It's a vintage dress and I made 2 of them. This is the one with the fitted one with the zip at the side zip, and the other one that I'm keeping was a pull-on version, so it's got slightly more ease in it. Keeping that one, I'm changing this one. I'm just going to pull off the bodice and add a different one. This is the original patchwork dress, and I need to hand stitch the cuffs of the sleeves, and I also need to straighten the hem and hand stitch that. So yeah, I guess I could, this is them at the moment. I'm just about to go off and do something else, but yeah, I think I'll leave them here for a bit because I was hoping to fit 10 dresses in each box, and I haven't. So yeah, I might have to rejig them. I do like them being in color order, but yeah, either I'll finish all these and then add them to the boxes and shuffle them around, or I'll just pack these boxes away. We will see. Damn, I was hoping I wouldn't have to do too much work for this episode, but it's turning into yet another sewing vlog saga. Okay, I am back. I've rearranged everything, so I now have, there's 10 in each box. I'm not sure about this. It is just a temporary measure. Until I've made all 200 of the dresses, then I'll sort out what I want to keep, what I want to remake or whatever, and how I'm going to store them long term. So it's kind of just for a few months anyway. But so we have, I think I've got 74, and then I've got these 10 here. Oh, because I was watching, so I am going to fix these ones. I was watching more, and I've also got the 22 that I finished last month. It is a lot, but a lot of those were UFOs, so yeah. And of the 22, I do have quite a few summer dresses. The summer maxi dresses are just too big for the boxes. But anyway, yeah. First problem, these. So I was watching a couple of other Me Made May videos, and there's something called the Tackle 10, where you just pick out 10 things you've made that have rips or tears or don't fit properly or aren't finished, and you fix them, because 10's like a manageable number. So I have 10 here, and I'm just going to fix those. So I'm going to change the bodice of that, unpick it, redo it, which is quite a lot, but I'm not going to wear it the way it is. So either I change it or it's kind of a waste of space. This one, I just have to unpick the binding and cut a new bodice lining. And this one, I just have to sew the shoulders and put a zip in. And so there's a little bit on each. It is a bit fiddly, but it's manageable for this month. So I think I'll do that with these. So I'll leave them on the rack. And these ones here, I've moved some of my jackets. So I have a wall of storage area for my jackets, and in the actual shelving I've got the finished jackets with all the beading on them, and then at the top I've got some sort of partially made jackets or jackets that are finished that don't have beading on them yet. And those ones, because those ones are obviously lighter with no beading on them, I've just moved those boxes to another spot where I keep my tweeds. Yeah, it's been musical storage boxes. And so I'm going to move them. And these two are the boxes when I finish the ones on the rack, and I do the everything I made for April episode from last month, then I'll be able to pack away another 32 dresses. So I just put them in because I still haven't done that episode. So once I've done that, I'll be able to pack another 3 boxes. So this is what they're going to look like. So the one that just looks like a green mass and the one that looks like the orange dress, I'm going to swap them out, like hang those 2 maxi summer dresses in my wardrobe and put 10 dresses in each of those. So these are, just ignore the shoe boxes. It's my overflow of my shoes. But so they're made jackets. And then up here, by turning every second stack upside down, I can actually fit 10 boxes in here instead of just 8. Or if you put them longwise, you can only fit 6. So and they're not very heavy because they're just dresses. They're not beaded jackets. So I think this is a good solution for now. It sort of gets them out of my way and I can just move everything really freely. This was one of the boxes of unfinished jackets, and it's just all the black stuff. That is actually a piece of tweed that's black and grey, so I might make that up into a jacket. The rest are just cut bits, and I don't know, every now and again, like I've had this is accrued over the past 15 years, and every now and again I'm like, oh, maybe I should make myself a black jacket, maybe I should. But then I start cutting it out and I'm like, you have a black Chanel jacket. When are you ever going to wear anything other than the black Chanel jacket? But with the rise of TikTok and everyone wanting to be an influencer, I think it might be time to retire the black Chanel jacket for a couple of years and just wear something generic. I am now going to go and tackle these 10. I will be back. But first, can we take a moment to appreciate how much fabric I've used up? So at the end of last year, all this and all the bottom were crammed full of folded bits of fabric waiting to be used and made up into dresses. And this I took right at the very start of April, I think, or right at the end of March. And this is my most recent footage of the boxes just before I put them in the storage area. Oh, I don't go down far enough. You can't see. It's a little bit messy. There's like 30 bits of fabric left, but they're not folded up. I sort of move them around and stuff. So before the end of this sewing vlog, I will tidy them up and take a shot of it so you can compare this amount of fabric to the very small amount that I currently have. So then next up I did a fabric haul, and oh my gosh, this is how it looked at the end. It was nice and neat at the start, but then as I showed each fabric, I sort of undid it and made an absolute mess. And I got out some gorgeous I just sort of went through the sewing patterns after I went through the fabrics, and then there's a bunch of notions as well and some chains and things. So I just sort of went through all of them. There's some gorgeous, I love that empire line dress. It's so cute, and there's some gorgeous vintage ones in there as well. So yeah, I went through all of them, and those chains are absolutely fabulous. That jacket is asymmetrical. You can't really see it because it's a black dress and a black jacket, but it looks like it's going to be pretty cool, and it's got princess seams on the front and the back. So yeah, and these are all the fabrics. I still haven't folded them back up. Shh, I will. But yeah, and oh, this is the tortoiseshell. It's actually plastic, but pretty fabulous linked chain. Very cool. And after I did the fabric haul, then the next thing was the start of the pattern, KonMari my patterns. So I've got everything out, and as you can see, I still haven't cleaned those fabrics. So now I have to fold the fabrics, and I have to make a list of every single pattern I have after I put them all in order. So yeah, I've just got to put them in company groups, and then put them in numeric order, and then write a list of all of them. And yeah, I'm going to take a screenshot of each and make a Pinterest board out of them. Hours are fun, hours and hours. So I did all that. I put them in order, then I took the screenshots, then I uploaded them and made a Pinterest board and made sure I labeled each one with the pattern number. And yeah, it took so long, but definitely worth it. I actually used it a couple of times already. And once the documentation was done, so I've got a list now of all the patterns. It's a complete list because it was a bit patchy before. Some of them it wasn't up to date. So I double checked it. Now it is. So now this is me sorting my patterns into ones that I want to keep in my sewing area. So there's like 30 or 35. And ones that I'm just going to put in the closet, at the bottom of the closet, and not in my storage area basically, so I have more room here. So I'm sort of just going through them and looking for ones that I want to make, or at least look at and read and figure out in the next 2 or 3 months, and I'll put the rest away, and I'll just keep a little stash near me, and that can be my homework whenever I have a free moment, or I want to make something, whereas everything else can, yeah. Oh, and I folded all the fabric. Yay, gold star for me. So yeah, this is how it was. I sort of put a lot of these away, and I just kept one small thin box out. And then I've got this other yellow box that you'll see in a second. Here we go. So I popped those other boxes away, and this is all I have left. The small box of ones I'm going to use, and the yellow box is ones I've already traced out, and they're ready to be made into, garments. Sorting those patterns out was a little bit stressful, but it was super fun going through all the patterns and deciding which ones I'm going to keep. So that was good. And I'm so glad that it's done. Oh my goodness. But now it is time to get back to tackling my 10 garments for Me Made May. Getting used to saying that. Okay, I decided to procrastinate instead of work on those 10 dresses. So I cleaned up, folded up all the fabric. This box is the dresses that are all cut out, and so UFOs. This box here is rayons and some cottons as well that I'm not going to use in the next 2 months. So I've got this one, if I have time, I'll take one out and make it. There's some vintage dresses, 1939 vintage dresses, and also some summer dresses. This one I'll pop away in the storage area. And I've got another box that's for next month is yellow and purple. And the month after that is blue, mostly navy blue. So I've got another box for that as well. So this is nice and tidy, relatively. And so I've got the black fabrics there for this month up on the bench there. And that storage box that you can see there is the black tweeds and the stuff that I've cut out for black jackets. So yeah, these are the ones that I was going to used to make jackets this month because they're absolutely gorgeous. But I'm thinking while I'm on this finishing my UFOs kick, maybe I should. So, this is the box of black stuff, and there's some sequin ones in there, there's some lace. So, maybe I'll make a black jacket with just using all of these up. Like, I don't know that there's an entire jacket in there, but I'll have to go through it. Anyway, so they're all still waiting to be finished. And I think I'll do a black dress video first, and then I'll come back and finish this vlog. Because, yeah, I've got all these black fabrics, so I just have to work out which one is going to be which. I think I've got enough for maybe 2 or 3 dresses. And yeah, I kind of want to get them done, and then I'll once I've decided which is going to be which, then I'll come back and finish these, do the boring stuff and fix these 10. Oh, I just watched back to this section. I love the gold and the black, but I ended up doing the monochrome, the black and the white. So I used the 1 yard of vines to make the bodice and the 1 yard of the dots to make the first tier of the dress. I'm doing view C of this simplicity pattern that if you saw the fabric haul and the pattern haul, you'll know that this is a new one to me. And the V is way too deep for me, but I'm just going to wear it. I pretty much always wear tops anyway, like a top underneath. So now I'm doing the second and third tier of the dress. I've done the second tier, but I haven't sewn it on. And the third tier I haven't done yet. So it's just going to be all different black and white fabrics. That's it. I've got this daisy one that has a tiny bit of yellow in the center of each daisy. So yeah, I might include that maybe. Depends how big the skirt can get without it. So we shall see. This is the second tier and it's got 4 layers on it. So I used up some of my Halloween fabric, the black one at the top, then the Scream fabric, and then the last of the vine and the little circle, little dots fabric. So that is the second tier. And once I've pinned this on, pleated it down and sewn it on, then I'll do the third tier and try and use up as much fabric as possible. So yeah, I will go do that, and then I think I've finished for the night. I'm just editing and putting together the clips now, but this is all the fabric I have left for the next tier of the skirt. So I will be back once and that's the daisy one. I'll be back once it's finished. It is now done, and I've even actually finished that video. It's all edited and narrated and uploaded and everything. Here it is without the sash. It's an Empire line dress, so it's not really supposed to have a sash. And I just put the Girly Darth Vader one on the left mannequin just to compare the two. And this is it with the sash. And yeah, I think next time I make it, I will alter the bodice so that the V is not anywhere near as low. Yeah, I think I'll like it better once I do that. But I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It's definitely a very odd mix of fabrics, but I like it. And here we are. I am finally tackling the Tackle 10 for Me Made May. Oh my goodness, tongue twister much. So I've decided that the holly one, I've got a little bit of fabric left, and actually a little bit more than I thought I did. So I've got enough to do this. The problem with this is you have to do the bodice and the first tier of the skirt because the first tier isn't straight. So you can see where the light black one ends and then the full black one ends. So I thought, yeah, so this is the one that I just made. And then I sort of changed the V-neck to make it less deep. I think I'll probably end up going somewhere between the two. And yeah, and so instead of doing that odd cut, I sort of lengthened it because that line was just really awkward. And I lengthened it and I like it more. I think the next time I do this, I'll have a flat front instead of pleats in the front. But the thing is, this is perfect as a baby doll dress. Also, I changed the sleeves, and these ones are much more like an Empire line dress sleeves traditionally, the sleeves that are traditionally put on an Empire line dress. So it looks a little bit Regency if you only look at the top. But yeah, I think it's adorable like this. It would look cute with a collar too. But I'm not sure that it needs more of a skirt. I mean, I'll just wear trousers underneath it if I think it's too short for whatever the occasion. Like, you know, if I'm going somewhere and I think it's a bit short. But yeah, the whole point of making this was to make a new bodice to put the other skirt on. Now, if I add the other skirt, it's just going to make it full length. Whereas I guess I was looking for something midi rather than maxi. So this is it from the side. I'm just trying to work out if it's heavy enough as it is to leave it like this, because sometimes an Empire line that's short, it just doesn't have enough weight. You do have to have that extra length, because in the pattern they say that if you make the dress this length, then you should add a frill at the bottom, just well, for aesthetic reasons, I guess, but mostly just to weigh it down a little more. So this is the dress. It's absolutely adorable, but I've got two that are basically the same, and I'm always going to choose the pullover version, the looser version with more ease. So yeah, I'm just sort of hooked it in so you can see how much longer the skirt is going to be. So it's basically going to be down to my boots, and I don't have a problem with that, but I just really like it as a baby doll, I think. So I do still have a tiny little bit of this holly fabric left. I had like 2 yards more than I thought I did for some reason. I don't know why. So what I think I'll do is I'll take this bodice off, and I also have the bodice. So I think I might take this bodice off and maybe just make a plain tank top, like a singlet top, for that skirt, because it really is a beautiful skirt just as it is. And that way I'll end up with 2 dresses. I did not intend to do this. I'm trying to just finish off 10 dresses, but I think I'll do that. I'll leave it for the night, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. Okay, it is finally time to pull apart this dress and remake it. So I'm going to unpick the bodice. Here we go. I've unpicked it. So first I took it off the skirt and pinned all the pleats of the skirt to keep them in place. And then I seam ripped each of the individual pieces of the bodice. So then I had to, for the back, I had to sew 2 bits together, but the front is cut in 1 bit. So I've got the front and the back, which are the pale ones, and the lining is the olive fabric. I do have some extra fabric left, so I could make some short sleeves, but I already have a dress with dolman sleeves, and I have the one that I just made with the little sort of capped sleeves. So I've decided this one's going to be sleeveless one. I use the burrito method to sew the sleeveless bodice together, and then sew the bodice to the skirt, and then you have to hand stitch the inside of the bodice over the raw seams. I haven't actually done that yet, but I put it on the mannequin anyway. And here it is. The one on the left is the one that I just did, and I still haven't done the hand sewing of the sleeves on the Empire line one. I just put that navy sash around it just to see what it looks like with the thick sash. It's super cute. It is a bit short. I'll probably just wear trousers underneath it, but it's adorable. And this one that I just did, it's adorable. I love it so much. It's very vintage, the silhouette, although it's sort of knee length. So I think if I make it again, I do like how cropped and high the bodice is. I think that's very vintage. But I think the skirt, if I make it another 3 or 4 inches, so 10 centimeters long, I think that would be pretty much perfect. Everything about it I absolutely love. So yeah, and you can see the khaki or olive green lining. I really like that about it. So yeah, I still haven't done these ones. So I think I'll wind up this video, this sewing vlog here, and maybe make them off camera. I've still got the rest of the month to do it. So yeah, I think I'll just keep a stash of hand sewing by and get a little bit done each night. So that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I hope you're achieving what you set out to for Me Made May, and getting all those repairs and other things finished. Happy sewing and good luck chipping away at your massive list of things to do. I'm kind of struggling with mine at the moment, but one thing at a time. I'll get there eventually. Okay, bye.